Hi, you're welcome to Johnson Praise TV. This is your digital classroom. We impact lives here. We break difficult concepts here, and we make sure we find solution to students' needs here. So as you are here, make sure you smash that notification bell to give us a follow. We are going to delve more into Psych 101, which is all about introduction to psychology, and our focus will be on session 1. So and I'll be releasing videos on psychology. So if you're a psychology student, or you know friends, colleagues that do psychology, share it in your academic groups, your platforms, to encourage your colleagues to join. And the more you share and the more your colleagues watch, okay, the more we also would continue to do. These are the things that you do to motivate us to do the videos for you, because it's not easy sometimes, taking time, going down. Even before coming out with this, I need to prepare my own slides. So you see that this slice is my own slides. I need to prepare my own slides and just bring it out. So that is it. And also, please, I'll be dropping some links under the comment section, so make sure you check them up. The first link will be a link to my my WhatsApp channel. So with my WhatsApp channel, I have created a citing channel whereby I have some of the 200s and your seniors. They are all on that channel. So I drop all my video links there. I don't do any other thing there, but what I do, any video I drop, I release the link there. So when you are also on that channel, you can also have access to all the videos I release. So some of them will be useful to use. It's not only about psychology. Courses like academic writing, critical thinking, information studies, business administration, and so on and so forth. I also do past questions review. So make sure you don't miss this opportunity. Click on the link to join my WhatsApp channel. And also I'll be testing you at the end of the discussion. If not today, probably tomorrow, I'll drop the link. That is a quiz link. So you follow it, and you take part in the quiz. So be checking the comment section. That is where I'll be dropping it. But those of you who are also on my channel, I'll drop the link there so you can access it. So I don't really need to chat to me, but you can just check it on the link or the channel, or probably make sure that you come here under the comment section, and it will be ready for you. Please make sure you encourage someone, share it on your platforms. The more you do, the more you encourage us to also do more for you. Please make sure you do that for us, because it takes us so many time to do these things. And even with this, I need to prepare or come up with my own slides, which is not easy. But because of the love we have for you guys, we want to do something to help you. Before I start this class, I want to let you know that I have an exciting opportunity for you, especially those of you who have brothers and friends who want to travel outside. There are so many fraud issues in the system, but I want to let you know that there are some genuine people among us. So which I'm introducing to you global assurance travels. Okay, so this is a travel agency that actually have unique packages for people that want to travel to US, Canada, Mongolia, Poland, how do you call it, Serbia, and so many countries. Okay, so our packages ranges from what that is visa before payment before visa. If you don't want to make a commitment, but you rather want the visa to come before you make payment, that one is available. And if you also want to make part payment, that one is available. And the one too that you pay in full amount, you have to trust the process, because I am also involved. So I will make sure that anything bad happen to you. So that is what I can assure you of. And our credibility really matters to us more than any other thing. So if you have a friend or anyone that is willing to travel outside, you can link the person. Or probably have a business or any brand you want to promote, get in touch with me. Contact me on 0545412017. Those of you who want to get in touch with me, you can contact me on that number. My number is here, and I will attend to you. So the course overview, we'll be looking at the various definitional issues in psychology. We'll look at the subfields, okay? We'll delve more into the subfields of psychology, and then the science of behavior. That one too, we'll be doing that, the history behind psychology. So make sure you watch it to an end, and trust me, you will enjoy the discussion or the class. And without really wasting much time, if I want to ask, what actually comes in your mind when you hear that someone is a psychologist? Probably some time ago, yesterday, I was asking some people about that, and they were telling me that, oh, they believe that psychologists are people, or a psychologist is a person that reads minds. So the person was like, oh, she always even afraid. She's afraid to even get closer to someone who is a psychologist, because she feels the person can read her mind. Okay, and then somewhere also of the view that psychologists are people that actually treat those that are mentally ill and stuff. That is what the clinical psychologists. So a lot of people actually came up with various definitions, and I think they have a point, and at the end of the day, we'll be able to go through all these things, the various definitions, and we'll also be able to dismantle the misconception behind psychology, how people perceive psychology to be. We'll be able to dismantle that fact, or that myth behind psychology. You get a broader perspective, or you'll be able to develop a broader perspective about psychology, and do away with those myth and hearsay about psychology. So that is what we are in for. And so please, what do you think it is psychology? So if you also have any idea about psychology, please drop it under the comment section. It's going to be an interactive session. I'm not going to teach you alone, but make sure that you participate in everything we do. So when I see it and you have an idea, drop it. So what comes in your mind when you hear that someone is a psychologist? Some people have expressed their view. I also want to hear your side. Drop it under the comment section. Let me hear, or let me see. I am always online, so you only drop the comment, I'll get the it will come to me directly, and I'll reply you. So that you don't think that, oh, I am not online. I'm online with you. So make sure you drop the comment. I will see it. Let's look at the origin of psychology. So psychology is indeed a captivating area of scientific inquiries that focuses on understanding individuals and their behaviors. So psychologists are more interested in understanding individuals and their behaviors. Why do these people behave this way, and how do other people also behave certain way? Psychologists are interested in studying human beings in particular, and their behavior. So somebody will be asking, what is the difference between sociology and psychology? Sociologists are more interested in studying groups, okay, and the society as whole, but the psychologists are interested in studying the individual and the individual's behavior, right? That is what psychologists are interested in. If someone is mad, what actually caused or that madness? Psychologists are interested in that. If someone is broken-hearted, what caused that kind of broken heart? Is it because of what? Is it because of disappointment? Is it because of promising faith? Is it because of maybe a loss or whatever caused that problem? The psychologists will delve more into it, in knowing what actually caused that kind of challenge. So we do that, and it explores the various aspects of human cognition, emotion, motivation, development, personality, and social interaction. So with this one I'll delve more. Okay, it is all part of the concept psychology. So I'll take you through these fields, okay, which is what emotions, cognition, motivation, development, personality, and what social interaction. So I'll take you through all of them one after the other. So psychologists employ scientific what they employ scientific method in studying to study what these phenomena, ranging from conducting experiments and surveys to analyze data and observing behavior in real world settings. So by delving into the intricacies of the human mind and behavior, psychology seeks to underlining motivation and ultimately contribute to enhancing our understanding of human nature and improving human experiences and behavior. So psychologists, as I said, we are all interested in delving into the intricacies, okay, the complexities of human nature, the scope of human nature, how complex we are. Okay, we are interested in knowing that, and we seek to uncover the patterns, okay, that or the underlying motivation. So that is what psychologists are interested in. So in the definition or in my explanations, I made mention of what some key concepts. So I'll take these key concepts from the definition, explain them one after the other for you. And in going far, level 200, 300, level 200, 300, 400, and 400, some of these courses, these things I am going to discuss with you, they are going to be full courses. You'll be doing them. You are going to do cognitive psychology, that is cognitive 1 and 2. You are going to do emotion. You are going to do motivation, developmental psychology, these things, personality. You are going to do personality, and then social psychology. That one, so you will do it. So all these things are things you will be doing. So let's look at cognition and be brief with it. So when you talk of cognitions, it refers to the mental process involved in acquiring, processing, and storing. Okay, it involves, like I said, it's a mental process involving acquiring, processing, storing, and using information. So if I ask this question, assuming you have two kids or two brothers, and all of a sudden the younger one wakes up and slap the elder one, what could be the possible cause? Please, if you know this, drop it under the comment section. You have two brothers or two kids, and the younger one just wake up and slap the elder one. What could be the cause? I want the answer. You're a psychologist. I want you to think outside the box and tell me what could be the possible cause. So if you believe it, if you believe it, it's a certain reason, drop it. Now let me tackle this. Human mind. Okay, when you talk about cognitive psychology is all about the mental processes, how we process information. So it could be that the younger one heard something that she wasn't happy with, or probably the elder one reacted badly or did something wrong to the elder brother. So when he did that thing to the elder brother, the younger brother first, the mind would receive that information. Okay, so he acquired that information and he processed it. It could be that he said fuck you. Okay, it could be that he said fuck you. So after hearing what fuck you, the person processed it, okay, and he didn't really sit down well with him, okay. So he decided to uh, um, now send that signal, okay, to the how do you call it, the mind. So the mind, now the person decided to think about it. After thinking about it, it passed that information. It passed that information to what? To okay, so which is what? It passed the information what to the brain. The brain studied that my brother is just disrespectful. That is the how do you call it? The conclusion he made, that my brother is disrespectful. So if my brother is disrespectful, what do you do to somebody who is disrespectful? Then let me slap my brother. Then all of a sudden, within a twinkle of an eye, you realize that he has slapped the brother. And that is what normally goes on. It could take place in different form, okay, or in different format. Someone can, you could be there, someone can just touch you, and you may not be happy with it, and you react to it. And mostly when it happens like that, I don't think if someone touches you now, you just wake up, or you end up slapping the person. You realize that, now, why didn't you even hold my hands? You just came to what? To touch my sensitive part. Then, after thinking and processing the information, then action follows, right? If you have to slap, you slap. If you have to insult, you insult. So, when you talk about cognition, just how the mind works, how it processes information. So, they are interested in knowing that why some people are fast and in processing information, while people are so slow. And we look at the emotion. Emotion has to do with what? A complex interplay of psychological arousal, subjective experience, and behavioral responses, right? And so emotions ranges from what? The basic feelings such as what? Happiness, sadness, anger, fear, and what? Disgust, to more complex states like love, jealousy, guilt, and pride. So with the emotions too, they are interested in what? Knowing the various what? They are interested in what? Knowing the various feelings, okay, our emotions and what? Feelings. What makes someone happy? What makes, okay, people, when when you surprise someone, or you show some kind of gesture to someone, the person may be happy with that. If you do, if what also causes sadness, okay, when the person hears something that he or she did not really intend, okay, or things that the person didn't really expect. He didn't expect an accident to happen, and maybe it has what happened to his friend. The person will be sad, or the person didn't expect any breakup, and breakup has happened, so the person will be sad or probably cry. So when the person hears that information, okay, what goes through the mind will process it, and then it will send signal to the heart. Now the heart will what? Will now begin to what? It will soften, okay. Now the person will be so all these things are what? Things that the emotions are interested in. And then we have motivation. So motivation refers to the processes that energize, direct, and sustain behavior towards what? Achieving goals. So the motivation, what makes people do what they do? Why is it that when people start things and they end up stopping? Why is it that people start and they end it? What actually motivate them to do that? At the work side, what really motivates workers to do what they are doing, and what do you, so there are so many things. There are so many underlying factors that causes all these things, and the emotion psychologists are interested in that. And also it involves what? The internal and external factors that drive individual to act in certain ways, okay. The internal and external factors, okay. The internal factors are important, and then the external uh, factors are also what? Are important. So the motivation can be what? Intrinsic, okay, which is what? Arising from within oneself, or extrinsic, okay, that is what? Arising what? From external rewards or pressure, okay, or pressures. So it can be what? Influenced by biological, psychological, or social factors. So motivation are interested in that. And then we come to developmental or development. Development refers to the systematic what? Changes and continuities that occur in individuals over the lifespan. It encompasses of physical, cognitive, emotional, and social growth from the infancy through childhood, adolescent, adulthood, and into what old age. So with this one too, they are what interested in that, before meeting what actually really happened, and after meeting, when the woman gets pregnant, what are some of the things that normally happen, or what are some of the changes that happen, and when the person gives birth, what are some of the developmental stages that the person goes through, and what makes some people grow well whilst others do not really grow well. Okay, the developmental psychologists are interested in that. And what actually what causes some of these things, the old age, and other so many underlying factors which are what are interested into the interested to the are of interest to the developmental psychologists. Let's look at the personality. When you talk about personality, it refers to the unique pattern of thought, feelings, and behaviors characterize an individual and distinguish them from others. So the personalities too are interested in what the unique pattern of thought or feelings and what and characteristics, okay, or behaviors that what characterize an individual or distinguish them from others. What makes these people so unique? What makes these people very good in leadership? When you give such people positions, they are able to manage it, whilst these people are not able to do it. What are what makes some people so tall while some people are also short? Okay, so the personality look at what the personal trait, okay, and the changes that happens or occur within that sphere. Why is it that some of these people, there are some people, you don't just go there with any issue. The moment you dare step on their toes, say you are done. They and talk about phone. Why is it that some people are so aggressive and some are not aggressive? That is the interest of what? The personality. And we look at the social interactions. The social interaction. So the social interaction refers to ways in which individuals relate and interact with one another within social groups. Okay, I'm interested in that. Social groups. University of Ghana, there are social groups in the University of Ghana. If you don't know, I will tell you. Network, community, and communities, right? So the social interactions, they are what? They are interested in what? How individuals relate with others. Why is it that rich men make friends with rich men, and poor men also make friends with poor men? Why is it that even in the university, the older one make friends with the oldest, and then the younger ones also make friends with the younger ones? Okay, what is the reason? Some may feel that, oh, because I am old, if I make friend with the younger one, the person may disrespect me, which I also respect myself, so I won't go to that tangent or go to that extent. Do you understand it? And there are some too that believe that, no, for me, I think my level, I need to get somebody who is higher than me, and that is it. That's what make people choose friends. So people choose friends on several factors. Some of them are based on economic factors. There are some people, if you don't have money, they will make you as friend. That and there are some people, they can like you no matter what, but because of you don't have money, they will never make you as a friend. So forget about these things. So you should understand it, and work in a way that you won't really always be expecting too much from people. So the social interaction, they are and in the University of Ghana, you get to understand these things. Okay, you will get to understand these things better, how people choose their friends. There are some people they are friends today, tomorrow, and they will get better friends than you, and they will leave you there. So you should be able to be abreast with these things, and know that they are part of your journey in the university, in communities, and in everywhere. It is there. So you should be able to know. So there are some even places, houses, they are rich. If you're going to marry from a poor home, they won't allow that. So the interaction and the relationship that happens, that is what the social interaction is all about. So with the contemporary psychologies, okay, there are so many fields, multiple subfields, which are we need to talk about. What we have, what clinical psychology. The clinical psychology focuses on what assessment, diagnosis, and treatment of mental illness and emotional disturbances. So that is what the clinical psychologists are interested in. They work with the individual to alleviate stress and improve psychological well-being. So the clinical psychologists would they diagnose and treat those with mental illness. So clinical psychologists are associated with what the treatment of people with what mental illness and emotional disturbances. If you are having any emotional disturbance, then the one you should consult is what the how they call the clinical psychologist. The cognitive psychology investigates mental processes such as perception, memory, attention, language, problem solving, and decision making. So cognitive psychologists seek to understand how individuals acquire, process, and store information. So, like I said, the mental processes is what the cognitive psychologists are interested in. The perception. Why is it that uh, um, why do some people actually do things based on just mere perception, but and then the memory, how the memory processing it. Attention is very very important. In as you go far, you'll be learning the dichotic how do you call it, listening, okay, and then the other form, okay, all these things are what things you'll be learning. Language, problem solving, decision making are all of key interest to what the cognitive psychology, developmental psychologists, like they study what the psychological growth that changes what psychological growth and changes that occur throughout the lifespan. Like I've explained all these things to you. A biological psychologist in level 200, you'll be learning biological psychology. It is one of the most difficult concept. That one you need to and for that one comes with so many concepts. So that's what makes the course difficult. But with that one, it explores what biological basis of behavior, focusing on the brain, the nervous system, genetics, and so on. So the biological psychologists investigate how how do you call it, the physiological processes contribute to behavior, cognition, and mental disorders. And we also have what industrial organization, we have health psychology, we have what we also have what we have educational psychology. So all these things are what are very 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 important. So the origin, let's look at the origin of psychology. So the origin of psychology traces back to the ancient philosophical inquiries into the nature of mind, consciousness, and human behavior. Philosophers such as Plato, Aristotle, and what and Descartes, okay, pondered questions what about the relationship between the mind and body, the nature of perception, and origin of knowledge. Their speculation laid the groundwork and later psychological inquiry by raising fundamental questions about the nature of human experience and cognition. So during the 19th century, the emergence of psychology as a scientific discipline further influenced the developmental psychology. Okay, so psychologists including what figures like Johannes Muller and what and Hermann von, okay, they apply scientific method to study the functioning of the nervous system and sensory organs. Their research shed light on the psychological mechanisms underlying sensation, perception, and movement, providing empirical insight into the basis of what behavior. Okay, so these are some of the things. So before the discipline started, some people had already done some background work, and some of these people include what Aristotle, Plato, and so on. and we also mentioned of what Muller and what and Heyman. Okay, all of them what did some work and down and underground, but the discipline wasn't really what a complete discipline. Okay, but it got to a point whereby there was the need to what to come up with a discipline that would really what focus on studying what human mind, and I'll show you all these things. So so like I said, some of these psychologists, okay, psychology actually what um let me show you some stuff in your slides. Okay, so the field of psychology originated from the older fields of philosophy and physiology. So psychology emanated from what? Physiology and what? Philosophy. So it came from these two concepts, okay, or these two disciplines. And these philosophers were interested in understanding issues like how the mind functions. How the mind functions. Put it at the back of your mind. You can be asked this question, or this question, you can ask you this question. How the human mind functions. Two, how our bodies relate with our mind. How do what our bodies relate with our mind. There are some people that sometimes you realize that their mind works faster than what their body. There is no connection between their mind and their body. We like obi a wenyi na o kan kwase asem sa or you see sometimes when someone is drunk, the way they behave, their mind is there's no coordination between their actions and their mind. The mind is somewhere and the body is also, there's no, like, the person can't walk straight, the person can't do things straightforward, because what, there's no coordination between what the mind and the body. And the mind is supposed to control the body. The mind directs the body to do most of the things. So if there's no coordination between the mind and the body, then there will be what? There will be chaos, okay? You won't be able to really what? Process the information. And that is what the frontal lobe does. Okay, the frontal lobe actually what? Perform the executive function by what? Making sure that your brain is organized and stuff. So when there's damage in your frontal lobe, okay, then there's definitely like your day will not really go well. You can't really plan well. There can't be proper coordination and other stuff. So you see the person really, especially someone who has had a broken heart, the person is well disorganized, even how to bath, how to do some of this. The person has even forgotten about all these things. Someone that has what been through a lot, and you could see that the person's action. So it's quite different. It's not like the person is not in normal times, and in issues like this, they need what? They need us more. When someone has lost his family, or probably had a broken heart, or things that really hurt the person, there's what? There's some kind of, the mind is not stable, and these people really need us. So if you have someone, you can go and comfort the person and make sure the person is what? Well. And also, how do we what? Perceive and interpret the world around us? How do we perceive the world around us? How do we see it? Okay, these are what some of the things that the philosophers and the physiologists were interested in, and the psychologists were more interested in understanding how living organisms function using what method called scientific method. So they embrace the scientific method in studying human mind. So that is what one thing. And there's one thing I couldn't really discuss with you. The psychology it came from what? A Greek word called what? A Greek word called psyche. Psyche means what? The mind. And then the logos means what? Study or what? Knowledge. So these two words, when you combine them, it is what? A study of what? Mind. So this is what, when the concept started, they coined the term out of what? These things. That is what? The study of what? Mind. So that is how they used to what? See the word psychology. And then the philosophers came with what? Some of the things that we should study, such as what, how human mind functions, how our bodies relate with our mind, and then how we perceive and interpret the world around us. And then they develop what, the approach in studying the cause by using scientific method in what, studying human mind. Now let's look at, so some philosophers and physiologists became convinced that the scientific method used in physiology could what, be used to study and understand human mind. So they were what, this one, you should be interested in this. They can ask you, some philosophers and physiologists became convinced that the scientific method used in physiology could be used to study and understand human mind. So they were what, convinced that since they use scientific method in physiology, then we can use the same thing in what, psychology. Do you understand it? So this question, when they ask, you should be able to what, explain it without going through your slides. And that is it. So someone was asking me, why is it that psychologists use scientific method in studying human behavior? So this should be what your answer. The philosophers became what, convinced that the scientific method using in what, physiology could what, be used to study and understand human mind. And the attempt to use scientific method to study human mind begin from here. So that is where they what, brought the idea. The philosophers and the physiologists brought that idea, and then the scientific method to study human mind began, right? And then the first lab to try this new idea was set up in what, 1879 by a German psychologist called Wilhelm Wundt, okay, in Leipzig. So Wilhelm Wundt what, is a what, is a German, and he really set up the first what, lab in Leipzig, okay. But the one interesting thing is that some philosophers like Aristotle, Plato, and then the rest, they laid the foundation for the concept, but they didn't really take it far. And let me ask you this question: as we are here, there is what, a policy. Ikuadonko has been preaching about this policy that if she become president, she will make sure that the use of local language becomes possible in our parliament, where if you are using any local language, you can contest and become what, MP. So when you go to parliament, doesn't necessarily mean that you should speak English. You can speak your local language and you still what, be heard. And that is what, one thing that Ekuadonko brought. And now this year the parliament has passed that thing. Now you can speak Chi in parliament. Now that thing has become possible. So under the auspices of what, Right Honorable what, Kingsford Sumana Bagbin. So as Sumana Bagbin has implemented, and his team have implemented this policy of Ekuadonko, now who will you give the credit to? Is it the one that brought the idea or the one that implemented it? Drop the answer under the comment section. If you believe it is the one that brought, if it is Ekuadonko, tell me Ekuadonko and the reason why you think Ekuadonko deserves it. And if it is what, the Parliament of Ghana, which I think this one was championed by Sam George, and then some members of parliament supported it, and now they have agreed to do that. So is it Ekuadonko or the private bill that was being sent to parliament by Sam George and some of the MPs to implement this law? Do you think, which of them do you think they really what, they deserve the credit? Who do you think who do you think he or she deserves the credit? Drop it under the comment section. I'll go through your comment, your submissions. Yeah. So for me, I would say that the one that implemented it, if you have plan and you don't implement it, it can never be what, a plan. So William Wundt took that step by what, establishing a lab, okay. So after establishing the lab, he was the first to set up a psychology lab. And that's why if you have ideas and stuff, you should be able to implement. If you don't implement, someone implement it. Don't go and accuse a person that we have idea because you didn't really do it. So anytime you have idea, you should try and implement it. So because William did that, he deserves the credit. So the lab was located at the University of Leipzig in Germany. Okay, it was located at the University of Leipzig in Germany. The lab later became the Institute for Experimental Psychology. So the lab, it later became the Institute for Experimental Psychology. So if I ask you this thing, I hope you'll be able to answer me. The lab later became what? Institute for Experimental Psychology. So Wilhelm Wundt was born in 1832 to 1920. He was born in 1832 to 1920. So I think he spent 88 years in on the earth. Okay, so you can calculate it. 1920 minus 1832. What will be the answer? Is it 88 or? Okay, if you know, then you let me do. I'm interacting with you, so you can drop it under the comment section. So it is often referred to it. He is what often refers to as the founder of psychology. So despite I told you that, you see, I would rather give the credit to the one that implemented it. So Wilhelm Wundt was he was regarded as the father of psychology because of his contribution to the concept psychology. And the focus of Wilhelm Wundt and other psychologists that he trained, including Jean Stanley Hall, was on applying the scientific method to study and understand human mind and how it functions. So they did that thing to just implement this to implement the scientific study of human mind. So the early psychologists therefore they stuck the process to the definition of psychology as the scientific study of mental processes. So it moved from the study of mind now to the scientific study of mental processes. So after Wilhelm Wundt created the lab and train people, now they decided to use the scientific method in studying human mind, and they came up with the idea. They brought the idea that now the study of mind is quite we can say, yeah, it is quite narrow. So some stuff need to be added. So now they came up to say that it is the scientific study of mental processes. The scientific study of mental processes. That is what they did. That is Wilhelm Wundt, and then some of that is Stanley Hall, and the rest. They rather came up with the definition. So let's look at the origins of psychology. So in the 1920s, psychologists, that is John B. Watson, thought that in order to understand the mind, psychologists need to study observable behavior. So John B. Watson also brought the idea that now which is the scientific study of mental processes is also he came up with to counter that definition, that no, instead of the scientific study of mental processes, psychology should be interested in studying the observable behavior, and not the scientific study of mental processes. Not the scientific study of mental processes, but it should rather be the observable behavior. So therefore the psychology changed from the study of mind to the scientific study of behavior. It changed from the scientific study of behavior based on what Watson brought on board. Now let's look at the modern day psychologists and how they define psychology. So with the modern day psychology, they define psychology as what? The scientific study of what? Human behavior. That's okay, the scientific study of what? Human behavior. Okay, and then that of what? Organisms and animals. So that is, this definition was brought or this definition it is what Kuhn came up or coined that term, that psychology is a scientific study of human behavior and that of what other organisms, that is animals. So we shouldn't only study human behavior, but other organisms should what be studied. And then what? So the scientific study of human behavior and mental processes. So now we added what? The mental processes that was being championed by the William Wundt and then Stanley Hall to the definition of what? Kuhn. So making what? The scientific study of behavior and mental processes. So the key things that you should note in this definition is that psychology is all about the scientific study. It's also about human behavior. It is about other organisms and the mental processes. So when you are defining psychology, at least some of these key concepts should come in your definition. Let's look at now the classification of behavior. The classification of behavior. So when you talk of, or when you talk about behavior, when you talk of behavior, the way it is what? The way in which an organism or individual respond to stimuli. How human beings respond to stimuli. It is what we call what? The behavior. How we respond. You are there. Someone slaps you. If someone slaps you, how do you respond to it? So if you insult the person back, then we know what? That you know the kind of behavior you have, whether you are quick tempered or you are patient. And if you are there and someone touches you without your knowledge, and the kind of reaction you give there, either you show love or you what? You get angry, and that is what we say. Oh, this person is friendly. This person is what? Unfriendly, not friendly at all. This person there, oh, on your romantic cry, me so no look at what the person is doing. You understand? So that is how people will begin to what? Notice you when they call your name. Hello, hello, or why are you calling my name? That is how come what? So the stimuli, how you respond to stimuli, your reaction. When you talk of what? The stimuli or the sensory aspect, that is your how you like you receive information, how you receive it and react to that information is what we call the stimuli. Okay, how you receive and react to information. And also simply it is what? It also means that what people or organisms do is all about what? Laughing. What actually causes someone to laugh? There are some people, when even you say you can bring them you can bring incommode to these people, incommode will joke and these people will not laugh. They've never laughed in their life. Some people too like talking, they can talk from morning to evening and they will still not get tired. People like that, when you are with them, you just keep quiet and you allow them talk, and when they talk and they are tired, they will stop. Sometimes when they talk and they are not talking, you'll be like, oh, they won't kasana. That is the person's behavior. The person enjoys talking. So mostly if you are with women, that you allow them to do the talking, right? And you listen to them more. If you talk, they like to talk. So when they talk and you're a guy and you are talking much, now I say, allow them to do the concern work and you just pay attention and listen. Your own is what? Just pay attention and listen. You don't go and gossip with women. Hey, and I saw this. Oh, you the guy shouldn't be gossiping. It is women. Most of them like doing that. Okay, I'm not saying all every woman like gossiping, but mostly women like to talk, especially when they feel comfortable around you. They can talk, papa. So when they are talking, you allow them to what? To talk. And where you need to come in, you come in and you don't talk much. You allow them to go ahead with the conversation. So when you study human behavior and you know how to move with them, there are some people when they talk and you also talk much. As a would you and they never like you because of that. You understand it. As those of you who know it, okay, with him, right? So let me not really pay much. So let's look at the classification of what behavior. So that is what we're doing now. Classification of behavior. So we have what reflex behavior. So reflex behavior. See, have you ever thought of this thing? You'll be there all of a sudden. You take certain decisions before even thinking about it. Have you ever experienced this thing before? You want to plug your phone, and then the within a twinkle of an eye, okay, or shockingly, you experience what, a shock. You experience a shock. So when you experience that shock, what happened to you? Did you run or you stood there? What did you do? Tell me what you did. Okay, if anything that you did. Okay, exam the day that you had your first shock. Okay, electric shock. What did you do? Did you run? Did you scream, or what did you do? Okay, so after screaming, didn't you think about it again? Didn't you have a second thought about it? That why did I even scream like this? Eh? You see, so sometimes you do some things, you'll be there, and then somebody you'll be sleeping, then somebody will come and what the person will come and hit you. Wake up, wake up, wake up. You can stand, and then all of a sudden what to have so especially when we were young, we used to go to church, which we used to go for all night and stuff. So when we go, around 12, they will be sleeping. So you'll be there now, you'll be there, they will come and wake you up. So the moment you wake you up now, then you start going. Sometimes you wait me the way near east whilst you are going to the north. And then they will tell you that, hey, where are you going to? You didn't really, at that moment, the mind is not really functioning. So anytime and those things, they are what the reflex what how do you call it? The reflex what behavior. They are on they are what unintentional things that you do. When you experience that shock, you screamed. So later on that you had a second talk about it, okay, or you had a second thought about it, that this thing, I shouldn't have screamed this way. Look at how everybody is looking at me. There was a day I did something and it was funny. Later on, everybody was looking at me. So I was thinking that actually what I did too. I screamed and people were just around. I didn't even notice it. That I okay. So that is how the whole thing is. So when you talk about what the reflex behavior, it occurs what automatically in response to what stimuli. It is what not planned, not something that you've planned. You are sleeping, someone comes to wake you up, you didn't even plan, and you all of a sudden you are doing something you didn't even ideally if the mind was working you wouldn't have done that. So example, when you jumping into contact with a hot object, so or when you are salivating at a smell of a food, that one, there are some of the things you don't really plan and you do. And we have goal directed behavior. So goal directed behavior occurs when an individual or animal has a specific need, and act in a way that intend to satisfy that need. So goal directed behavior are things that you plan. The reflex are unplanned, but with the goal directed is what the opposite of reflex. It is what something that you plan. You plan studying today. Okay, that's why you came to my channel. After coming, you didn't only study psychology. Maybe you went to check some of my how do you call it, my critical thinking videos or my information studies videos. So these are what things that you plan that today dear, you are spending a lot of time here, you are going to study a lot, study not only one course but 2 or 3 courses. So you went ahead and checked some of my videos under my channel, then you study them. It's something you plan. Or probably you building a house, you plan about it. If you want to build a house or if you want to travel, you plan about it. Okay, there are some of the things you plan, and that is what we call what goal-directed behavior. And also have what conditioned behavior. Conditioned behavior occur after what persistent experience, training, practices over what a period of time to respond to a specific stimuli. So with the conditioned behavior to they are more related to experience in the children. Okay, if you ask a child not to touch fire, they will never what listen to you until they touch fire before they realize that. And when they touch the fire and feel how the fire is, okay, next time when they are getting closer to any hot object and they remember how the fire burned them, they will not get closer to that. Okay, so or probably you go to hospital, you send your child to hospital, and then they inject him for the first time. Next time when you see a doctor, what do you think the person will do? The person will react because he thinks what the doctor or what will inject him or her again. That is it. So mostly these are what conditioned behavior. They are what they are being what they occur with what experience, with what they occurred after persistent experience, training or practices. So these things are what things that normally occur, and they are stuffs we call what conditioned behavior. And we have frustration behavior. So frustration behavior occurs when an individual is what exhibited to achieve a goal, but the goal is not achieved within expected time. So it is what we call frustration behavior. You plan marrying to a certain gentleman, and then you are in it, you have invested, then all of a sudden you realize that the person isn't even the right person for you. Okay, it wasn't something that you planned. Okay, or probably the person comes to tell you that he can't marry you, but your plan was to marry the person. Because so it is frustration. Okay, and this can cause you a lot of stuff. It can cause you, it can bring it can damage, I can say it can bring damage to your heart, your mind, and everything, because you didn't really what you didn't really intend to do it, but they happen along the line. And in this life journey, that is it. There are so many frustration behaviors normally happen. So when a child who is hungry and has been crying for a long time might respond by throwing the food on the floor and spilling it when it finally brought. So they are frustration behavior. They are frustration behavior. They are exhibited to achieve a goal, but not achieve within expected time. They are they are not achieve as at expected time. So they are and let's say like even in that relationship as you are in, something happened. Maybe you plan getting married to the person. There's a fight between the two of you. You go to you go back to reset, and later on you really decide to come back. They are all of them are frustrations that really happen. And we have overt behavior. So overt behavior are they are their behaviors or their outward behavior that is that can be observed and seen by others. So the observable behavior, they are the same as observable behavior as Watson brought about. So Watson championed the observable behavior. So observable behavior or the outward behavior. If I want to know you are hungry, there's a way I can see me. If I'm hungry, you will see it. I will never be happy. If you are talking, I won't pay attention. I'll be frustrated. And the things I'll do will not, like my activities will not really, you see that I am frustrated. You get it, especially when I'm hungry. When I'm hungry, I don't like talking. And if you talk to, I feel like you are disturbing me. Do you get it? And if I'm hungry to, I'm a typer. If I'm angry, you do something and I am not okay with it, I will tell you my mind. And what after I am done, that doesn't mean I'm coming to insult you, but what you did wrong, I'll tell you. I'm not somebody that I hide my feelings. I don't do that. I never hide my feelings. And how the whole thing, me, I'm a type, I'm just plain. I tell you my mind and I go. So I'm a type, I don't really hide my feelings. So I if the thing is okay for me, I say it. If it is not okay too, I say it. I don't know about you. So for me like this, there are certain things, okay, you notice it. If I'm hungry, if I'm angry, you see it. If I'm not angry, you see it. There are some people too that will keep their behavior, okay, and that one will get to that side. But the observable behaviors, you can see it. When someone is laughing, you can see. So, oh, this person is happy. You can say that, oh, the person is happy. When someone is also crying, you can tell that the person is what? The person is what? Actually sad. If somebody is running, it will tell you that the person is what? Going through challenges, or probably trying to get certain thing done. So you see that. And then we have the covert behavior. The covert behavior is an internal, right, behavior that cannot be seen by others. So examine you go into restaurant and you see someone eating a very nice jollof with chicken and everything, and you see the moment sometimes you'll be salivating, but you tell the person that you are interested in his food, or you imagining something. Okay, you see a woman and you are interested in the woman, and so in your mind you imagine, okay, the woman doesn't even know that you are interested in you, but until you go and tell the person that I'm interested in you, so you'll be imagining it in your mind that, hey Charlie, this girl there, or you mistake. But there are so many people we see that sometimes you'll be interested in, but it's not everybody you can go and talk to, and that is not the purpose why we are here. There are some of us, even if you are interested, we will not even come closer. I will not even tell you. You get it? Because we have so many things in our mind that don't even allow us to do these things. But there are things that are what in your mind, right? They are in your mind. Oh, this person, yeah, or you're nice, oh, but you won't even go ahead to tell the person that, oh, you're nice. But oh, 20 years, and that is it. So that is how the whole thing is. And you should be able to note all these things, and that is all about what the how do you call it. So that is all about today's session, and I'll be bringing you part two. So make sure you should share the video with your friends. And like I told you, I have a very good offer for you, those that want to travel or know people that want to travel outside. And I also want to let you know that the videos, I'll be bringing you quality videos and stuff. I want to produce very nice videos for you. So those of you who are interested in supporting my channel, you can reach out to me. I'm setting up a studio, whether being it a laptop, being it how do you call it, a camera, probably studio items that you can buy for me, so I can get time to produce more videos for you. Please make sure you do that thing for me, and God will continue to bless you. I'll really appreciate that. Some of your seniors have started doing something, and any way you can support me so I can get time and do videos for you on most of your courses, I'll be doing that. So please, if you are interested in supporting my channel by getting this studio done, any way you can help, whether being it laptop, being it doesn't necessarily mean you should buy this item, but if it is even some little that you can get for me to continue to do these things, I'll be glad, so I can do more for you. And I have this offer, and I want to also let you know that if you have opportunities, you can get in touch with me, like job or whatever opportunities. I want people who watch my channel to be happy all the time, so they can proceed with their daily life. People who watch my channel make their ease, and also would get job opportunities or get opportunities. You can reach out to me for, you have a business or business idea you want to promote or bring on board. You can get in touch with me and I'll help you. And the traveling offers I have for Canada, which comes with direct employment, visa, and everything are intact. You go there with accommodation. Accommodation is also a part, right? So this out, and we allow you to pay either in installment, or we do the visa for you before you make payment, and so on. We have offers in Poland, Serbia, Singapore. We have Belarus, we have Dubai, we have Vietnam, we have Mongolia. So get in touch with Assurance Global Assurance Travels. Okay, Global Assurance Travels. Contact us on 0545 412017. God bless you for your time. Thank you.